no one goes deeper with these prospects year after year after year. So many times I think back to things you've said that ended up being very wise. First topic for you, 3 players that will shape the top 10. We all get wrapped up in the first few names, but then the players that round out the top 10 sometimes end up being quite important. Give us some names, please.
I think it's going to be pretty wild here. And the first guy for me is Caleb Desnoyers of the Moncton Wildcats. 30 points in the playoffs, went to the Memorial Cup dealing with some wrist issues, wasn't at his very best there. But when I think about Desnoyers, I think about a puppy, that's got big paws, that he's going to grow even further at 6'2", about 178 pounds now. He's probably going to play at about 6'4", 210, and can play in every situation for you. Here's a guy who's probably a second-line center, but a guy who's got great compete to his game, PK, PP, can do it 5-on-5, has great leadership skills. And one little tidbit from our Combine interview with him, why should a team take you? And the answer was, I win. Drop the mic, period, end of story. That was it. So I love that, right? I love that type of thing. The next guy for me on that list is going to be Brady Martin. And I think he impressed so many people at the NHL Combine with just, he is who he is, man. And if you don't like it, too bad. So this is the type of character guy who he's a farm guy, no question about it, makes no bones about it. He's invited the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds to the farm. He works in the farm every day. The farm is so important to him that he had a gym built there by Matt Nichol, who's the Ottawa Senator strength and conditioning guy, just to get his workouts in after all the work he does on the farm. But he's a gritty guy who can play it any way you want it, shoots the puck a ton, and I think he's just one of those guys that you love who he is, going to be a great teammate. The last guy is Roger McQueen. He is the big wild card here at 6'4.5", 6'5", 198 pounds. He was limited in game action this year, but man, when he plays, he can impact the game in a variety of ways. Everyone's looking for that big guy down the middle of the ice. The back issue is a concern, no question about it. And that has to do with what we saw with Caden Lindstrom last year. Yes, he's playing again, but there was definitely some concerns. You have to be a team that you would be supremely confident in his medicals, that you would take him, or you would have to be a team who wants to take a shot at the title with multiple picks and say, hey, we're going to take a little risk on here, but we feel the upside is well worth the risk.
One of my favorite Sam Cosentino-isms is nasty piece of business. I listen for it every year. This next one is about James Higgins. The Islanders getting the first overall pick. His is a name we keep hearing. Obviously, intrigue surrounding both of those topics. Take it away.
Well, the intrigue is you have Matthew Darche as a first year as a general manager. And so you want to take the Hauppauge, New York guy because he grew up there, and James would be absolutely ecstatic if that were to happen. I just don't know if James Higgins is the best player available. I believe it to be Matthew Schaefer, and that's to take nothing away from Higgins because he's hit the marks at every international event. Under 17's record, under 18's record, by the way, beat Nikita Kucherov. 9 points, gold medal, World Juniors in just 7 games there as an underager, driving their top line and their first power play unit. So there is everything to like about James Higgins, but I think Matthew Schaefer and his ability to play more minutes in the back end as a top pairing guy would probably be the guy. Now, where does Higgins fit in? Is he 2? Is it Misa? Is it Frondell? It's really interesting to me that I think Higgins falls here a little bit, and it probably starts from 5 on down. And I got to tell you, I'd be doing circles around my draft strategy room if I were to get him at 5 on down because they think the world of James Higgins. It just so happens to be that the intersection of need and what might happen with Desnoyers, McQueen ahead of him, if they do go ahead of him, might just push Higgins down to a spot where some team is going to be really excited to get him.
Cause's credibility is off the charts. Before Wyatt Johnston was Wyatt Johnston, he told us Wyatt Johnston was going to be Wyatt Johnston. Small sample size, I'll never forget it. Next, decentralized NHL draft. Your thoughts on the new format this year?
Mike, that's like sitting here in my living room, man. Who wants to do that? Come on. I'd rather see you, shake your hand, have a beer with you. You know, as I always say, I kind of like to work the lobbies and the bars and so on and so forth. And you never know. It's great to have everyone in the same place at the same time. You get the scuttlebutt. Everyone's really excited about what's about to happen. You hear some things, even the outlandish things. I think this is a mulligan here by the National Hockey League. And more so than maybe anything, This is for the kids. And to have that big lineup where you can wrap your arms around everyone and get that picture with 20 people on, where you can reward your scouts for all of the year's work, that they can go to a place that's a little bit remote and just say, hey, we're going to let our hair down a little bit. We're going to have a couple of dinners. We're going to have some great candid conversation in our meetings. I think they've missed the boat on this one. I think the league was always of the ilk that they should be together. Some of the general managers that I've talked to or people in high management positions are saying, yeah, I think we got to take a mulligan on this one. Let's get the people back together, guys.
Sometimes things can go awry at the draft. I tried to shake hands with Chris Pronger, did not get the firm grip, and I've never lived it down. So each year around the draft, it comes back to me. But I digress. On to the last question. We're always intrigued by a player that ends up, his stock goes up late, a riser. Give us a name along those lines, please.
You remember the name Sean Horkoff, over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, works for the Detroit Red Wings right now. He's got a son, Will, who's 6'4.5". He's towering over Dad right now. But a guy who started the year with the program, ends up going to Michigan, ends up back with the under-18 team at the Worlds. And he's a guy that, with his size and his bloodlines, I think where he's going to be picked in the draft, probably around 24. The LA Kings might be the team there at 24. And I just think that he has so much to offer and so much growth yet still in his game that I think he's a guy people are talking about towards the fringes of the end of the first round and into the second. I have him up there around 24. When the mock draft comes out tomorrow, maybe a shade higher than that.
One other thing I think back to on drafts past, I saw Marc Bergevin wearing red pants. I don't remember seeing an adult wearing red pants as part of a suit. Guy that important, it was amazing. Again, just a note. Thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to watching your coverage.